Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and today we're going to talk about the X-Men movies. So, this week we learned that both X-Men Dark Phoenix, or whatever that's called, and the New Mutants movies have been delayed. It was an interesting enough development I wanted to talk about it, because it could mean a few things. First of all, it could mean nothing. Movie studios do bump around schedules and release dates all the time. Often it's just to avoid competition with other certain movies. Other times it's for reasons of lack of confidence in the film or wanting it to be released at the best time possible in the eyes of the studio or whoever's in charge of these particular decisions. So it's important not to read into this too much, but it is worth noting. It's also worth noting that Deadpool 2 hasn't been delayed, and we've gotten trailers of that, and it's definitely coming out. Everyone's really excited about it, and it has quite a bit of confidence in it. Yet there's two possible theories as to why these X-Men movies were delayed. One thing is potentially Fox has goofed up these movies enough that they're getting the, we'll call it, Justice League treatment, and they need serious reshoots or time in editing to get to their best potential state. Whether or not that will be a positive thing for the overall quality of these movies or not, we really won't find out until their release. The other option is, with all this Disney business on the table and in an unclear state of being, though I do believe that deal will eventually go through, perhaps Fox is sort of willingly pulled back for now until Marvel figures out exactly how they want all this stuff to go out. It's an interesting idea, but a real shame because I was really looking forward to the New Mutants in particular. While Dark Phoenix I'm being cautious about, there's multiple reasons into that, but it's mostly about the guy who's directing it being a long-time person who's got his name attached to a lot of very mediocre X-Men movies, and some really good ones too. So we'll have to see. But as for New Mutants, I really wanted to see their whole take on using the horror genre in terms of the world of superheroes and the X-Men. So I don't know what this all means or where this is going, but it is worth noting this. Perhaps this is a sign that behind the scenes Fox is cooperating a little bit with Marvel so as to not stir the pot so much. Maybe Marvel has plans for these big movies. We know Deadpool's getting a surprise cameo of some form or another. I really don't know what that is. I've been thinking about it for a while. Wolverine feels like the most obvious and boring of choices. But it could be something really ambitious and surprising. Movies can still do that. Maybe some deal has been signed or some sort of handshake agreement has finally happened. That'd be cool, especially if they could actually hide it until Deadpool's release. So who knows what's going to happen, but it's an interesting development. I don't know where the X-Men movies are going, or where Fox is going with this, or what the plans are. They might be moving in with Marvel and it being all one big balloon of some form. I made a whole video on that. And it could be interesting, but Fox has shown a lot of promise with Logan and Deadpool, and hopefully maybe they have something else planned. It's hard to tell because that whole merger with Disney and Fox got a big hold put on it. Yet it should be noted that I do feel that won't last. Usually when these things happen, some court's going to review it, but most of the time, especially these days with America, that merger isn't going to be stopped, especially because Marvel already pretty much owns these characters. They're just getting their movie rights back. So, we'll have to see. It's an interesting development. I know a lot of people are hand-wringing about Disney, but Fox isn't exactly the most consistent developer of quality content when it comes to these X-Men movies, and especially when it comes to the Fantastic Four and their weird relationship with some film company I don't even remember the name of. It's like Millennium or something like that. I don't know. The whole situation's really complicated and I don't fully understand the rights anymore. They keep talking about how there's all these extra characters I didn't know technically the MCU might not be able to do as solo movies, like the Incredible Hulk. Namor's off in his own little world. Kang the Conqueror's status is unclear. This whole business is getting increasingly complicated and frustrated, so maybe them trying to figure out something a little more streamlined could help this whole business. But I don't know. Part of the problem is Marvel does seem to like to put out these movies at a set rate. If they get all the X-Men stuff in, how are they going to deal with that? The extra influx of characters. what's the schedule of movie releases going to look like? And the big question is whether or not Disney is willing to have good R-rated content like Logan or Deadpool come out under their big MCU banner. If they're not going to do it, then these superhero movies are going to be all the more worse for it, and they're going to get stale very quickly. So I don't know what this all means, but I definitely want to see that New Mutants movie. The only reason I say that is, like, Fox would never just not release these movies. They'll eventually come out under some circumstance or another. But it is possible that Disney would, like, shelve them or just go for a soft release of some kind if they don't actually care about these movies. Most of the time, a studio wouldn't just write off a multi-million-dollar movie like this, but Disney could. They don't care. They have so much money that wouldn't be a big deal at all. They could just do a home release if they wanted. So, it's a weird, funny thing to think about. It's very possible. And that's about it. I just wanted to comment on that and get your thoughts on what you think about this delay, what you think it means, where you think these movies are going. Because I'm genuinely wondering. I find myself coming short on, like, oh, well, this is what's going on here. This is the obvious answer. It's not clear at this time because Fox's plans aren't well defined anymore. It's easy to glean the thoughts and processes behind the DCU and the MCU at this point because their goals are fairly straightforward and clear. Marvel wants to take over the world and DC's just desperately trying to keep up with it. I can wrap my head around that, but I don't know what Fox's goals are, and it's not their fault. It's because their goals are unclear. Are they a company on its way to merging with Disney, or are they a fledgling superhero franchise that wants to find its place among Marvel's behemoth of a company run with the MCU as a legitimate competitor? It used to be the latter, but now they seem to be kind of wishing and washing between the two of the options, and it's interesting. So yeah, who knows? It's an interesting development, though. I will tell you that. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and if you like Comic Island, you can check out our Patreon page in the video description below. Finally, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep reading comics.